Hi, I'm Jeanette, the Northbound Coach, and I am continuing my series of Hope After Layoff and jumping into a really important topic. It's important because I hear it come up as a concern for many of my clients. I know that it is, a rampant issue out there, and that is this concern around ageism. So the idea that you are not going to be considered, that you would be discriminated against because of your age in a hiring process. And this concern not only is a huge issue if you are of a certain age bracket and have been laid off, it is also a huge issue if you are dissatisfied in your current role, thinking of wanting to make a change. It's a very common reason that you talk yourself out of the particular change that you're considering because, after all, who would want you at this age when there is so much discrimination around age out there? And what I want to offer here is first an acknowledgement that yes, it's a legitimate concern. There is age discrimination out there. There's just no way to truthfully say that it doesn't exist. It does exist. And it's not going to block you entirely from good opportunities. So the first thing that we need to do is move from considering our vast amounts of experience that we have accumulated at this point in our career as a liability. It's not a liability. It is a strength. It's hard-earned expertise and experience that you have accumulated over the course of your career lifetime to date. And so when we think about ageism, we immediately start to diminish, or not start to, we immediately diminish, mow down all of that experience and move it from the asset column to the liability column. And that is just absolutely a false belief. That experience is very important. It is really an asset that you carry with you. So the first step in dealing with ageism is to deal with ourselves and how we are considering that aspect of what we have in terms of the balance of assets and liabilities. So we need to move the experience from the liability column to the asset column. And one technique that we can, well, it's not a technique, it is a technique, but I don't mean to diminish the idea around it by labeling it as a technique like it's a trick. It's not a trick. It is an objective assessment of our experience as the plus that it is. And so what I would offer at this step is an inventory. So maybe use your resume as the map to go about this experience or this exercise. So look position by position at the major accomplishments, the major ones, the minor ones, the things that you had a chance to experience and build skills in each of those roles. And think of examples, real life situations where you were utilizing building that skill and what the result is. Now, you will notice that this exercise is almost exactly the exercise that you will be going through in preparation for applying for positions, because it's what you're going to be listing in some of the bullet steps of your resume. And when you move on to a next step in terms of a screening interview, and certainly in the interviews that would follow the screening interview, these are the kind of examples that you will want to be prepared to be able to highlight as answers to those interview questions that come up. So the very first shift around dealing with ageism is not anything external, it's all internal. It's about how we think about our experience, moving it from the liability column to the asset column, and then in the asset column, getting very specific about what those experiences are. And I will harbor a bet with you that as you go through that experience of really digging in and getting much more familiar with your experiences, with the accomplishments of your past career history, you will have more certainty around why those experiences belong in the asset column rather than the liability side of things. All right, there may be some challenges that are coming up for you as you think through that. If so, I'd be happy to spend some time with you, free of charge, 45-minute career strategy session. I'll drop the link to that in the description box and jump in. I just really encourage you to get out there, try this exercise, put a comment out there, and I'll read it and respond to you around maybe any of the challenges that you run into, or hopefully some of the wonderful experiences that you are able to recall out of this exercise. All right, that's it for this week. I will see you next week. Take care.